Today is Monday, April the 29th. I'm sorry I didn't do a video over the weekend. I apologize. And today, I wasn't even paying attention to the market. I was doing yard work. I was getting caught up on a lot of my chores. And when I came in at 4 o'clock, I found that the market had reached a new high, had closed. Somebody said it closed at a new high. But the interesting thing for me was to see what happened to Western Digital after hours. You remember I tweeted on Friday that I got rid of my WC stock because I just didn't feel that the risk was worth it. And it looks like I'll be able to buy it back significantly less expensive tomorrow. It's already down $4 after hours, and I expect that to continue. I mean, they had horrible earnings. So once people digest that, I mean, apparently there was a statement that said you can't compare the estimates to what was reported. So we'll have to wait for that to clarify itself, but it doesn't sound very good. They missed on revenue as well. So let's look at the S&P on a weekly basis, because that's what we've been doing. The Chiku span is way out there. We finished a little bit higher than where we finished last week. Last week had finished at its high. I mean, look at that candle. There's no wicks on it at all, so it finished at its high. Let's look at the daily. We still have a gap to fill below. Normally what happens when you have a double top like this, because we've seen this high before back here in September, is we chatter around because there's people selling the market at this level. So until all the sellers are gone, if there's still any buyers left, then the S&P is going to move up if the S&P were traded like a regular stock. Apple finished down 30 cents. Its earnings are tomorrow. It is still having trouble at that 68.1%. On Friday, I also got rid of the last bit of my shares for Apple, and I am still short 11 contracts of this week's 200 puts. And I think I got about $3 or $4 for each one of those. So I feel comfortable tomorrow that I don't think Apple's going to have great earnings, but I don't mind buying the stock or having it put to me at $200, given all the premium that I've collected. My net cost is going to be about $180, $181. If we look at the spreads at the 205 calls and puts, right now the anticipated move tomorrow, market maker's move is $8, plus or minus $8. That's not, it's reflected in the options too. If you look, no, it's not. It's more like $9 if you look at the options. But the market maker move number that Think or Swim suggests is right now $8.20. Caterpillar finished a little bit up. I still have my stock, and I still have my short calls that expire this Friday for $140. So if we end below 140, I'll keep the premium. If we end above 140, I will possibly roll them, possibly just take whatever premium is left on them on Friday. Might make a move sooner. Gold, disappointingly down. Intel, let's look at the 1 week. We are heading towards this flat cloud. We've lost the 50-day moving average. We're approaching the 200-day moving average, but the cloud is just too close. So we're going to see some kind of a wick on an hourly basis that takes us down to 49.94, and that we might bounce back at the end of the day, someday this week, to hold the 200-day moving average. But if we do have a bounce of Intel here at 49.89, let's just put an alert there. So Motive Wave lets me set an alert for when the Chiku span, when the price touches an indicator which is the Senku span B, because the cloud is reversed, so B is on the top, I'm going to get an alert. And that will be right here at 49.85 tomorrow. I'm also going to put an alert for when it hits the daily moving average. So when price touches the 200-day EMA. There we go. Which would be right in here at 51.12. WDC, it's recovered a little bit, but I imagine that their earnings call is going to be at 5 o'clock. We're still keeping our eye on Whirlpool as a play on the housing market. And we see Whirlpool on a daily basis, and it is just nudging below the cloud. So we're going to keep our eye on that. We had a number of things we were looking at for WDC. We had this trend line right here, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touches. That makes a trend line. So we're looking for price to cross over the trend line. And that would have happened today at 144.09, or the top of the cloud, which is pretty darn close to the trend line, and the 38.2%. So they're all in that same area. So it's possible that Whirlpool is going to have some attraction to that flat cloud, and we're going to look for a potential breakout. But right now we've got the Ichimoku span that keeps bumping into the 200. We can see that if we put our cursor right at the top, the highest price we had during the day, we can see that the Ichimoku span did hit the 200-day moving average, and that acted as resistance. So let's just put a little box there, and we'll take a look at that tomorrow. What happened there? Let's take this box, and we'll take a look at that tomorrow. Google after hours is down, and yet they had, let's see, let's put into view extended data, and let's go to a 5-minute. Google beat on the earnings, but they must have missed on revenue, and they are down $30. Where's Google? They're down $51. Amazon today was down $18. I don't know if they had earnings today or not. Let's look at extended price. It's down a little bit. I don't think they had earnings today. So that's a bad day for Google, a bad day for WDC. An up day for the S&P, but I'm not buying it. I still think this gap needs to be filled before we see any substantial move upward.